Hello everyone and welcome to Semi Homesteading with Abby. Thank you all so much for tuning in to today's video. I'm doing something very exciting today, which is making my own mayonnaise. Now, if you are new to my channel, welcome, but let me explain a little bit about what's going on here and why I'm calling this semi homesteading, because this video is really the essence of semi homesteading. What you need to make mayonnaise is basically egg yolks and oil. If I was a true full homesteader, I would have chickens where I could get their eggs and have farm fresh eggs to make my mayonnaise. Now my family members have chickens that are laying eggs, so I could have used those, but I forgot to grab some. So I need to buy eggs from the store to make my homemade mayo. Same thing with butter. I learned how to make butter from heavy whipping cream, but I don't have a cow, so I can't use my own fresh heavy cream like I would if I was a true 100% homesteader. So videos like this are really the epitome of semi-homesteading because I can't do it all by myself with my 3 acres of land with my HOA. My HOA has not allowed chickens yet. I'll give an update on the chickens and the HOA thing at some point throughout this video. I call it semi-homesteading because I do have to rely on things I buy at the store, but I want to learn all the skills so that one day when I have my own cow or when I have my own chickens, I can do it all myself, and I already have had practice at all of the skills. So today we are getting store-bought eggs, but we're making our own mayonnaise. Making your own mayonnaise seems a little bit tricky, not in the fact that there's like a lot of ingredients, it's pretty simple ingredient wise, but talking to my aunt who's made mayonnaise on her own before, you really have to add the oil to the eggs very, very slowly to get them to emulsify correctly. And if you miss that emulsification at the beginning, it's over. You can't really recover it. So I'm hoping I get this on the first try, but I'm getting enough avocado oil and eggs to have a few attempts if I need to. I'm crossing my fingers though that does not need to happen, but we'll see. It's always a possibility. All right, once the groceries get here, let's get into making our own homemade mayonnaise. All right, we got our grocery delivery right as I ended that last clip, so let's put it all away. I'm just gonna say, if you live in an area where grocery delivery is available, I would highly, highly recommend using it because it tends to be pretty cheap, at least through King Soopers, and it is the most convenient thing ever. Like, I don't have to go to the store anymore. I add it on the app and then it shows up at my door, and for me, it's like completely worth the money. So, big tip, if you haven't started doing that yet, I would highly, highly recommend. So let's put the groceries away and then let's get started. Okay, as I was putting groceries away, I remembered that I need to feed my sourdough starter. So let this serve as a reminder, if you haven't fed it this week, go feed your sourdough starter. All right, now that our sourdough is all fed, let's get into the mayo making. So I got this recipe from Nourished Kitchen, and this is the one that talks about adding a tablespoon of water to help with the emulsification process. But the only ingredients I need are 3 egg yolks, 1 teaspoon of fine ground salt, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, 1 tablespoon of water, and 1.5 cups of avocado oil. I have all that and I'm gonna get that out. 3 egg yolks doesn't seem like it's gonna make a lot, but since this could be a little bit hit or miss on the emulsification process, I am just gonna leave it at 3. I was gonna maybe double the recipe, but I figure, you know, if something goes wrong, I'll just try to make it again. So for right now, I'm just gonna stick to the recipe, not double it, not have it, any of that. The other thing is that I need 3 egg yolks, which leaves 3 egg whites to be either wasted or I need to use them. Now it's almost dinner time and I usually make this avocado toast with an egg on top for breakfast, but I think I'm just gonna make that for dinner also and just use egg whites instead of the whole egg for the little topping, and that way I can use the egg yolks for the mayonnaise and the egg whites for my dinner, and that way nothing goes to waste. Let's get started. I'm gonna separate the eggs and then we will read through the recipe. Cross your fingers. So I brought out 2 bowls. One I'm gonna make the mayonnaise in, and then one I'm gonna collect the egg whites for my dinner. So I'm gonna crack it over the egg white bowl. Then I'm gonna do the little, oh, this is a really small eggshell, but I'm going to do the thing where you kind of like catch the egg yolk a couple times and transfer it back and forth so that I only have the yolk. There we go. And I'm gonna do that a couple more times here. So like crack it. That one's better. This will be easy. No! Okay, hold on. Okay, We have recovered it. I got the egg yolk. Okay, perfect. So I now have all the egg yolks in one bowl and all the egg whites in the other. I'm just gonna set this aside because I'll make dinner after the mayo thing. Now it says to drop the egg yolks into the basin of my food processor, sprinkle them with salt, and spoon in the lemon juice and water. I'm not gonna do this in a food processor, I'm just gonna do it with a whisk. So I'm going to combine the egg yolks, the lemon juice, and the water, and then whisk them. Now I whisk. Now, if this doesn't work, I will do it in a food processor, but the food processor just feels like a lot to bring out, and my aunt said that she did this, and it sounded like my aunt did this with a whisk and just by hand, so that's what we're gonna try first. So they are now well combined. Okay, now I need 1.5 cups of avocado oil, and this says that when the food processor is continuously blending, like the blade is continuously going, that you should add it 1/2 cup at a time very slowly. Now, since I'm not using the food processor, I'm gonna default to what my aunt said, which is basically right at the beginning, you need to add it like literally a drop at a time. So I'm going to get like a tiny little, some sort of little tiny container and just literally add a drop or two at a time until it starts getting a little thicker, then you can add it a little bit faster. So I'm veering from the recipe a little bit and going with what my aunt said, and I hope I do it right. So let me get a little bit of avocado oil out. Okay, I got another bowl to add the avocado oil in, so I know the total amount that I need to add, because I'm actually gonna use like teaspoons at first to add in some of the oil, and I'm gonna lose track of how much I need to use. So I'm sectioning off 1.5 cups right away, and that's how I will know how much total I need to put in. My aunt was telling me a story about how she did this when she was a kid and had to make homemade mayonnaise, and she got kind of grossed out as a kid because there's so much oil, and now I'm understanding why that would be. 1.5 cups of oil is actually so much oil, and it does, like, the thought of having that much oil in something really is a little bit much. Okay, now comes the hard part. I need to add the avocado oil very, very slowly and mix it together as I go. So I'm just gonna take like 1/4 teaspoon, start mixing it or whisking it, and then just adding like little drops of oil. I think I'm supposed to whisk it pretty quickly. And I'm just gonna keep doing this. Apparently it should start to thicken up at some point. I hope. I have a feeling my wrist and arm are gonna be very tired after this. I can't tell if it's working or not. Maybe I should use the food processor. There's so many bubbles on the top of the eggs right now, I can't tell if it's actually working or separating. So I hope it's working. I think I might actually take out the food processor to do this because this is gonna be too tiring. Okay, I'm gonna skip the part where I have to pulse it because this is already combined. So I'm just gonna add the mixture that I already have and then start adding the avocado oil as the blade is going. They say low, but low is kind of fast. I'm just gonna put it on low and we'll see what happens. I'm gonna start adding like a tablespoon at a time now, but just still going slow. And it should start thickening up here. seem to be that thick. I haven't added that much in yet, but I want to check on it. Okay, I mean, it looks pretty combined to me. Nothing seems to be separated or anything, so let me show you. This is what it's looking like so far. I guess I'm gonna assume it's working and keep going. I think it's still looking okay, and the recipe said to start with a half a cup at a time now. So I think I'm gonna transition to that to just make this go a little bit quicker. Shoot, I just poured so much in on accident. I think it's getting thicker. It's not spraying up as much. It's working. Oh my gosh. It's getting thicker. Look at that. Okay, this is very, very exciting. I'm gonna keep going so it doesn't, I don't know, stop working or something? I don't know. Okay. Oh my gosh. All right, we have reached the moment of truth. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Okay, hold on, let me show you. Look at that. It's looking pretty mayo-y to me. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. Okay, let's, I'm gonna set you down so I can actually scrape this into a jar and stuff. Okay, so I took this off of the food processor and I prepared these jars. So I'm just gonna scrape these into the jars and then refrigerate this for a little while. And then in a few hours, once it's cold, maybe I'll make like, I don't know, half a wrap or something to just test out how it all tastes. Wait, did I add salt? I don't think I added salt. Uh-oh. I probably should have done that way a long time ago. Maybe this will just be saltless mayo and I'll just make sure to add it next time. I wonder how bad it tastes otherwise. You know, worst case if I taste it and it needs salt, I'll just put it back in the food processor and add like a tablespoon of salt and then put it back in the jar. Like it's probably not gonna be that big of a deal. I'll just try to remember for next time. It's always salt that I forget. With sourdough bread, mayo, that's a bad thing to forget. It adds all the flavor. I am so excited about this. This looks really good, legitimate mayo. So I'm very excited to try this in a couple hours and I will check back in very soon. Okay, here's my avocado egg concoction. I usually have like an over easy egg with a runny yolk on the top, but this is 3 egg whites and I think it'll be pretty good. So no eggs go to waste. Very good. Okay, it has been a couple hours. I have refrigerated the mayo and it is looking very, very good. Perfect mayo consistency. Look at that. Now mayo doesn't have that big of a taste, but when I taste them next to each other, like the Best Foods mayo and this mayo, they taste a little different. I think I might need to add more salt to mine. Oh, by the way, I salted it before I put it in the fridge, like that I didn't get on video. I think I might need to add a little bit more salt, but other than that, it tastes pretty good. It's definitely gonna taste a little different because avocado oil versus soybean oil. And I don't wanna use seed oil because it's not as good for you. So, I think it's a success. I think it tastes good. Let me just try a little bit. Definitely tastes like mayo. It tastes good. I think we're good. In the next couple days, I might add more salt because the Best Foods one is definitely a little more salty, but overall, I think it was a success. And I'm going to check this one off as a lesson learned on the homesteading skills. So that's all for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time for another homesteading video. Bye, everyone.